Boker Tov Yeladim. I'm sorry to say I will not be with you this morning since I am going to be on a field trip with a select number of students. So in the meantime, Miss Pesci is here to help you and to aid you in any way that you need. For your daily dose today, you should be watching this video. I posted a clip of it in our updates on our course. Or if you already know how to get to the PowerPoint, click the video. You should be fine. So this morning, as your opening time, you're going to be working 15 minutes on your seed experiment. I need you to fine-tune your experiment. I went through the papers and the emails that were given to me, and I had some questions written on either the paper or I responded to an email. The only two students who I felt really knew what they wanted to do and they expressed that in their papers were Jose and Vincent. So they're going to set up their experiment today. I left the materials out. And everyone else, you really need to get into that inquiry plan and just make everything ready to go. There's a paper version of it available, and you can also use the digital version. But please let me know what you need. But at the same time, be considerate to the fact we do have some limited materials, such as one group wanted to do strawberry seeds, and I do not have strawberry seeds. I have beans. I have lots of beans. We can use beans. Let's use beans. For your homework, this week, the expectation is that you are getting yourself ready for your pop quiz on Explain pages 1 through 6. If you go further than pages 6, then I recommend maybe going back and taking some notes, adding to your vocabulary grid, making sure that you're ready because you won't be able to use your computer for the quiz. If you do anything online and you want me to print it out for you, please ask soon. Your amazing science fact of the day is brought to you by BrainPop. And if you did not remember how to log in and use your password for BrainPop, login is Aspira, and the password is Wolfpack. Our essential questions for today, we continue on the exploration of how do organisms detect, process, and use information about the environment. And today, specifically, you're going to focus on what the stages of interaction are with the environment. So, stages of interaction with the environment are the model of interaction of an organism with its environment has 3 parts. First is to detect the stimuli. Second is the coordination. And then third is the production of a response. If you look over to the left, we have some nervous system responses, rest and digest, category with the constriction of the pupils, stimulate saliva, slow heartbeat, constrict airways, things like that. Then you have the section over here which is fight or flight, which, can you control dilating your pupils, inhibit salivation, can you control the increase of your heartbeat easily? There's some things that your body does automatically without you having any control over it. So, animals tend to be the living organisms with the greatest degree of complexity. The greatest degree because we have organs and tissues with special functions. And plants don't necessarily have those. They have a coordinating system, but not with tissues and organs. They have so the coordination between receptors of stimuli and the effectors of responses is performed by plant hormones. And usually plant hormones secrete some sort of chemical response. Animals can have a chemical response and a physical response. Plants have more chemical responses than physical, but there are some physical responses. hopefully in your seeds experiment you will see how that happens. Then we have unicellular organisms. Unicellular organisms do not have coordinating systems since everything happens within one cell. And it's the nucleus that takes care of the responses. So we're going to go into science bits for a few moments, looking at pages 1 through 3. And it says here that on Explain page 1, all living things interact with their environment. I hope so, because this is the title of the unit. It's called Responses to the Environment. Kind of makes sense. This includes both surroundings and the organisms that live in it, and the environment is always changing. So for survival processes, the body or the organism must detect the changes and then act accordingly. So adjustability, adaptability has to happen. And as we had talked about earlier, the different stages are the stimulus is detecting through the receptors, we have the coordination, and then the responses by means of organs and structures called effectors. And remember I told you earlier that some plants have a physical response? Take a look at this little video. If it will ever start. Hopefully for you it will start. For me, not so much, but you'll see the physical stimulus that goes on there. Oh, it's there. Try it again. And now it's not. Oh, there we go. So he touches this plant, and it like clams up. That's definitely a physical response. This page here on page 2, to survive, living organisms need to be able to regulate their internal conditions. And when they're doing this regulation, it's so that they can achieve homeostasis. We had a conversation about this last week. One of the videos that we had watched showed a woman drawing pictures and explaining that homeostasis is when you're trying to keep everything the same for survival reasons. So like the person they drew, a person is supposed to have a normal temperature of 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit, but if you have a slight fever, your body is going to try to create homeostasis by sweating, and you let the sweat evaporate to try to cool down the body. And then again, if your body is less than the normal temperature, then the shivering is going to try to regulate your body temperature, bring it back to homeostasis by warming you up. And if you remember, they drew a picture of a bird, and when it was too cold, it puffed up like a big old feathered coat. And when it was too hot, it was opening its mouth, panting, and letting the tongue, the evaporation happen on the tongue to cool down the body of the bird. So, homeostasis is what that one's about. And finally, we've been talking a lot about stimuli, but how's your definition? Is it good enough? Do you understand it well enough? So here in Science Bits, they define stimuli as changes that occur in organisms' external and internal environment, which the organism can detect. So we have two kinds of stimuli. We have a physical stimuli and a chemical stimuli. And within the physical stimuli, we have light, caused by light radiation, mechanical, changes in pressure, contact force, and vibrations. We have magnetic phenomena. We have thermal stimuli, which is related to changes in temperature. Electrical stimuli caused by electrical phenomena. And if you remember, we saw a video in the beginning of Engage with a platypus, and it said that the platypus can detect electrical stimuli with their beak, with the front of their beak. They just close their eyes in the water and they're just moving their beaks back and forth in the ground trying to find food. Well, a shark also can sense electrical phenomena in their nose. And then we have gravitational stimuli. Gravity is a stimulus for many living organisms. And here it says the Earth's gravitational field directs plant growth. And then we have chemical stimuli, caused by the presence of certain substances, either dissolved in the air or water or part of solids. So there's lots of information Science Bits has to offer you guys. Please take the time to take notes. Keep them in your science portion of your binder. And get yourself ready for that quiz. Remember, these quizzes are 100 points. So today, 15 minutes on your seed project, and then you're going to work on explain. I hope you have a wonderful day, guys. Make sure you keep your focus. Your lunchtime is right after this class, so you have plenty of time for socializing afterwards. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow.